Time Life Sounds of the 70s compilation. And it's got great hits that you'll remember from your childhood, like Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. And many more.
The nickname for roulette is the devil's game. It's probably because if you added up all the numbers on a roulette wheel, they come up to 666. I like posing questions. I like mysteries. I like understanding the language of symbols. I want to understand the patterns in our world and all the strange synchronicities and what it all really means in the bigger picture of it all. I see things all the time that really make me wonder. Here's a few. For instance, just a few days ago, I'd noticed there's a new poster out here for the movie Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And what really stood out for me in this poster was that horse. I just felt like I'd seen it before and I couldn't really place it. Now, on the same day, I discovered something else. Check this out. So later, on that same day, a friend of mine pointed out a story to me about how the Denver International Airport had built a hotel. We took a look at the story. It was from a while back, but the picture on there was something like this, which showed the actual building of this hotel they have there now. And the first thing I saw when I saw this picture was Noah's Ark. I'm not saying that the people at Denver International Airport specifically built this new hotel kind of in the form of an ark. However, there is plenty of occult significance surrounding the Denver International Airport. First and foremost, they actually call it the New World Airport Commission that had built this, and it was built by the Freemasons, as you can see right here. And then, of course, there's the infamous Denver International Airport murals, steeped in occult significance. Many mysteries can be found on these murals. But here's where I was really going with all of that. This is the famous horse statue that's out front of the Denver International Airport. Plenty of conspiracies, of course, about the airport itself, all kinds of things around it, and this is one of the most popular. In fact, many people have gone to calling this horse Blucifer. So again, on the same day, I saw the picture from the new Planet of the Apes movie with the ape riding what looks to be Blucifer. My friend showed me the story of DIA, and then after looking at a few pictures, I remembered this horse. So what's the significance? What does it mean? I'm not exactly sure, but I wanted to show you an example of how I kind of find things and piece things together. A lot of times I'll have these kind of synchronicities around the same idea, the same story, the same symbol, whatever, and then I'll kind of fall into something. So all that being said, check this out. There are very interesting connections between the CIA and Hollywood. The government and Hollywood have been hand in hand since the very beginning. This is the cast of the TV series Homeland. Homeland is a huge propaganda piece, again blurring the lines between domestic terrorists, who could be a terrorist, who's your next door neighbor. We should be looking out for everybody. Of course, they won tons of awards at the Emmys not long ago. Now, if you'll notice, most of the award shows, that's the way they work. That's why people are always scratching their heads, even at the Academy Awards, like, how'd that movie win? It sucked. Well, usually they're really promoting propaganda at these award shows. And of course, in between the entertainment, quote-unquote, is usually more stuff promoting a New World Order agenda or just outright Illuminati public rituals. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon seemingly came from out of nowhere, rose to stardom almost overnight. Their first film came out, wound up winning huge awards, and really set these guys on a course. I found some interesting things with their careers. I just kind of want to show you a few patterns I've discovered. Now, am I saying that these guys are CIA ops? I don't know. Could they have been recruited before they got into all this? Were they recruited after they won all these awards? I don't know. Were they recruited at all? But I am saying that they've both been involved in some very interesting projects that are obviously some form of propaganda. Take a look at this. In the film The Good Shepherd, Matt Damon not only plays a CIA agent, but it also shows him being initiated into the Freemasons. In the Bourne Identity films, Matt Damon played, once again, a CIA agent. Just as Homeland won all of its awards for pushing the propaganda of spying on your neighbors or the idea that any one of us could be domestic terrorists, as you can see, the agenda is being played out in media. Here comes Argo. This is a film that Ben Affleck starred in and directed. Ben Affleck did a number of really interesting interviews for Argo, because if you listen to him, he puts it right out there for you. In this interview in particular, he actually says that Hollywood is full of CIA agents, most likely. And at the end of the interview, he actually kind of jokes and says that the person conducting the interview may have blown his cover. Argo went on to win tons of awards, including Best Picture at the Oscars. Again, with these award shows, they're not so much rewarding the talent. This isn't to say these films are bad or anything necessarily, but they're more rewarding the propaganda. Whether it be New World Order, whether it be Illuminati, whatever. Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is a covert agent and war criminal, according to Iranian news agency. Ben Affleck played a pretty convincing CIA agent in his Oscar-winning movie Argo, because Iran seems to think he really could be one. We even had this. Ben Affleck is a covert agent and war criminal, according to Iranian news agency. Ben Affleck played a pretty convincing CIA agent in his Oscar-winning movie Argo, because Iran seems to think he really could be one. Barbara Honegger had been a special assistant to Ronald Reagan, as well as a White House policy analyst, and worked for over a decade as a senior military affairs journalist. So she was on the Kevin Barrett Show, and stated that filmmaker Ben Affleck might one day be hanged for war crimes and treason, not only for Argo, which she said is designed to pave the road to war in Iran, but also for his role in the 2001 film Pearl Harbor, an earlier intelligence operation designed to pave the road to the 9/11, quote, new Pearl Harbor. According to Honegger, Affleck, like his character in Argo, appears to be a covert operator posing as a filmmaker. If the makers of Argo are deposed under oath, they may be forced to reveal that their film, like the fictitious film within the film, is a covert operation disguised as a movie, Barrett said. One of America's leading experts on covert operations believes that Argo is the propaganda project of an intelligence agency or agencies, and that its purpose is to convince the American people to go along with Israel's plan to drag America into a war on Iran. Barrett also suggests that Affleck's 2000 film Pearl Harbor set the stage for 9/11. Rumsfeld's and Affleck's Pearl Harbor propaganda campaign set the stage for the chorus of Pearl Harbor, Pearl Harbor, Pearl Harbor on September 11, 2001. On Air Force One, as Bush flew from Florida to Nebraska, the event was already being framed as a new Pearl Harbor. Henry Kissinger quickly echoed the Pearl Harbor comparison. Zbigniew Brzezinski pronounced it 9/11 is more murderous even than Pearl Harbor, and the psychological impact is the same. On the evening of September 11, 2001, George W. Bush reportedly confided to his diary, in quotes, the Pearl Harbor of the 21st century took place today. So, is all of this just a coincidence? Or could there be something else going on here? And if all of that weren't enough, this is the latest news on Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. They're actually teaming up to adapt the comic book Sleeper into a movie. And can you guess what Sleeper is about? Or even the name Sleeper? That's right, Sleeper Agent. It's about an undercover agent. Makes you wonder. As I said, I like to pick up the pieces of the puzzle and put them together to create a bigger picture. I see patterns, I see synchronicities. So I'm taking the pieces of the puzzle that I've found, the little bits I've put together, and I'm passing it on to you. Hey! Thanks for watching.